The Ramblings of a Retired Lunatic, episode 17. I have 4 things I want to talk about today. 2 questions that I'd like to get your opinion on from viewers who ask me to ask you. And 2 other things I just wanted to share. So we'll start off with the mobile phones because, as you guys, some of you know, I went and changed to Mint Mobile, and for me, from T-Mobile, because T-Mobile increased our old plan that we had for a long time, increased it by $10 a line. So I wasn't real happy with that, and calling their customer service, they basically said, too bad, that's just the way it is. You were getting such a good plan, we can't have you have that great plan anymore. So they offered no restitution at all, and that's fine. I'll move on. I've been with T-Mobile for decades, but I'll move on. I still have their internet service, which I'm paying $41.40 with tax. Chances are they're going to up that $10, at least that's what I've heard. But we'll see what happens. So I went to Mint Mobile, got the $20 for 15 gig. I'm going to try that after 3 months. Hopefully my usage isn't too high and I'll drop down to the 5 gig for $15. And then I'll probably pay a year in advance, be done with it, and that's not a bad deal in my opinion. So I got Mrs. Buzz, like we talked about in the last video. I got her a track phone, and it's going to be $99 for the year for 400 minutes. Now, she has a home phone, which we use Uma, which is connected to our internet. So she does a lot of talking on her home phone. And so it benefited us to get her just a track phone, which a viewer named Noreen told me about. So that worked out really well. So basically hers is like $9 a month. Mine's going to be $20. So $29 down from $74. Now, if we get charged an extra $10, it'll go up $10 because of the internet, but still a better savings than spending $74. So anyway, one thing I wanted to caution you, and I struggled with this yesterday. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy, right? I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, the brightest crayon in the box, and all those things. When all of these companies like Mint and TracFone, they ask you to give you the PIN or password to your current carrier so they can port your number if you want to. Like, I've had my number for, geez, my cell phone number I've had for probably, I don't know, at least 20 years maybe. And I want to keep that number. So in order to port it, again, it asks you for password or PIN. I didn't know. There's a PIN in T-Mobile, a 6-digit PIN. That's what I put in. And oh, by the way, they want 6 digits. So I thought, well, that makes sense. And of course, I put in my PIN and it says, nope, that's not what we want. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, well, how do I do this? And they said, well, you have to go on your phone and change it. You can't do it online. You have to do it on your phone. So I thought, okay, you do it online on your phone. So I thought, okay. So I went on my phone and it says the phone that I've had for 2 years is not recognized. Even though it shows on the T-Mobile page that here's my phone, my Motorola G-Power 2021. To port the number, oh, no, you'll have to call the 1-800 number. Aha, here we go. And I told Mrs. Buzz, I said, and she's half asleep on the couch, and I said, yeah, here we go. I said, get ready, because this is going to be fun. And it was. I called their customer service. I spent 22 minutes talking to somebody about porting the number. And I won't get you into all the details, but she put me on hold 5 times because she had to check something. And then when she would come back, it's like she was brand new. She would come back and tell me, oh, yeah, we might have another plan. Do you use data? I said, look, finally after 15 minutes, I said, look, can you give me the port number that I'm requesting? If you can't, then please put me in contact with someone who can. Puts me on hold again. tries to sell me something else again, and I said, really, seriously? I mean, she wants me to hang up. I guarantee it. So whatever games T-Mobile played there, I wasn't very happy with that either. And, you know, and that's one of the things, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm already a dissatisfied customer, and you just put the nail into the coffin, I'll never go back. I don't care if you give it to me for $1 a month. The tactics that they use, and maybe all of them do that, I don't know. I wasn't impressed at all. Just get me what I want. You know, if I'm asking you something, please just do it. Don't give me a runaround. So she got me to a guy who, he did a great job. No runaround. Basically just, here's your port number. The point of what I'm saying is, you have to get a certain 6-digit number. At least from T-Mobile. Verizon, AT&T may be different. But with T-Mobile, I had to get this 6-digit number, which the guy gave me, and I think I was on the phone 7 minutes with him. So, and accomplished everything I wanted. Super nice guy. Not sure what was going on with this lady, but so then a couple people were telling me, and I see my computer went off, but they were telling me about Visible, and Visible is so let's see if you can see this. I'm going to try to bring this up here, and you can't see me, but you can see this. People were telling me about this website, which is Clark.com, and they update their cell phone plans all the time, I guess, from what I understand. Now, this article is from February 12th, so it's a month old, a little over a month. But they were talking about the cheapest or best plans, and Visible by Verizon has a $25 a month, taxes and fees included, according to this, which is unlimited talk and text, okay? US Mobile, which a couple people were telling me on my comment section, it goes to AT&T, T-Mobile, or Verizon, but it's basically $210 for the year, according to this. And that's $17.50 a month when you prepay annually. Unlimited talk, text, and data, 10 gigabyte premium data per month, 5 gigabyte mobile hotspot. So that's a pretty good deal too. Now, I don't want to keep jumping around, but being retired, I want to find the best deal that suits me in our situation. So right now, Mint and TracFone, we're going to try that out. I think it's going to work pretty good, but we'll see. After the 3 months with Mint, I may go to US Cellular, US Mobile, I'm sorry. There is a US Cellular, it's US Mobile. Or maybe to the Verizon Visible, although Mint has got a plan comparable to that. So, but there are different plans out there. And I know some comments I get are, you know, they're paying $40, $50, $60 a line. And, you know, if you're retired and you have the money to spend on that, that's great. But for me, as cheap as I am, right, I want to find something that's less expensive. Okay, enough about that. 2 questions I want to ask the group. Get your thinking caps on, as they used to say, right? I had a, let me get my piece of paper, because I can't remember everything. I had a guy named Mark emailed me the other day. And he said he's been working in sales for 25 years. His last 5 years, he's worked from home. And he's 69. And his concern is trying to adjust to retirement, because he wants to retire very soon. His adjustment period, because he's got a home office, so he's working from home. He's got his laptop. He's got his cell phone. He's got, you know, all the stuff that he's using for work. How do you separate when you retire? How do you, like most of us, we leave a place of employment. We're lucky, I guess, right? In his case, his place of employment is home. Now, I know there's a lot of you people out there who have worked from home and have retired. So if you could send me some tips in the comments, I'd appreciate it. He's from Pennsylvania. Mark is from Pennsylvania. He's married 46 years. And my wife, Mrs. Buzz, mentioned, and when I brought this up to her, I said, I don't have any experience with that. What do you think, you know, from your perspective? And she said, because one of the points that he made, Mark made, that somebody told him to get rid of the office space and turn it into something else so that you're not thinking about the office and work, which is one way to do it. But my wife said, Mrs. Buzz says, keep it as a quiet space. You have a desk in there more than likely. Keep it as a hobby area. If you do stamp collecting or coins, or if you write a journal, and I think everybody should start a journal in retirement. I've been looking back at mine I started mine last January, and it's been interesting to see what I did last January, February, March compared to this January, February, March. It's just interesting for me because I'm a history type person, history nut, and I like to look back at things and hopefully I'm improving. Hopefully I'm not making the same mistakes. Hopefully I'm doing things different. And a year from now, I'll compare the last 2 years. But anyway, Mark could probably do that. Turn it into a workout area, small workout area. Maybe put some weights in there. I don't know how big the office space is, but there's some different things there. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? And then number 2. Second question came from Lynn in San Diego. And she just spent $9,500 on an HVAC system. So her question was, she's getting a lot of mailers for home warranties. And you see the Endurance for cars, the Endurance with Ice Cube. He's always out there. I think he's Endurance. There's 2 of them that compete side by side. Endurance is the one that comes to mind right now. And that's for cars, warranties for cars. Now, they can be pretty expensive, and I don't know what they cover, but one is better than the other, according to ChatGPT and the BB Better Business Bureau. But it's similar to that. So there's home warranty people out there that do the same thing. They're going to charge you X amount, and if something goes wrong, they're going to help cover some of the appliances or different things that you have. So does anybody have any experience with that? Because I don't. So I can't respond back, but there may be a few thousand of you out there who could tell me yay or nay on that, right? And the last thing, and in the title, you may think it's a joke, but it's not. There's a guy, he used to work for White's Metal Detectors. And if you're into metal detecting or have been, you know about White's. They're out of business now, I believe. But there was a guy who used White's, and he was a writer, still is a writer. He's getting on in age, and I was just thinking about him the other day. He writes a blog. He's getting older. He's got some health problems and has had some health problems. He lives in Texas, and he's a good guy, and his name is Dick Stout. So Mr. Stout wrote a book. This was about 15 years old, I believe. It's 15 or 16 years old. It was In Search of Treasure. Written by, or published by White Outdoor Products. And I was just thinking, he's written over 150 articles for various treasure magazines. And he's a contributing editor for Western and Eastern Treasure magazine published by People's Publishing in California. He's got a couple books. His previous books, Metal Detecting the Hobby and Coin Hunting in Depth, also published by White's Electronics, continue to be bestsellers. So I was just thinking about him. As I age and he ages, I just wanted to shout him out. Good guy, good writer. He does have a blog if you want to check it out. I just think he's a super nice guy. And as we age and as we grow older, and I don't think he can get out and metal detect as much anymore as he used to. When the knees start going and the hips start going, it's tough. It's really tough. But he's a good guy. And if you get a chance, take a look at, maybe look at his blogs or whatever, and just, catch up with him. And if you know about him already, give me a comment and let me know. Anyway, that's the ramblings for today. That's all I've got. Episode 17, Ramblings of a Retired Lunatic. I hope to talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.